You. It's hey folks, thanks for tuning in to the BAM podcast. I'm your host, Mike Lafferty, and today we're talking Black Widow with Jacob Blackmon, frequent co-host. How you doing, Jacob?
Hello.
Right, and special guest visitor, Sean Izaakse from Marvel Comics. How you doing, Sean?
Good. Okay, surviving in this really shitty country of mine, but surviving.
I hear you're having some problems in South Africa these days.
Yeah, it's been a hectic week, man. Like looting and all sorts of crazy stuff going on.
Are you safe where you're at?
I mean, most of us are just kind of staying indoors anyway. It just seems these guys are hitting a lot of malls and all that kind of stuff. But my neck of the woods, touch wood, so far has been pretty quiet. But a lot of the stores have just closed up and boarded up windows, and that just until everything dies down. So.
Okay, man. Well, stay safe. I'm sorry to hear about that. And this is an awkward transition, but we have this new audio-visual intro we play to convince people that we are a high production values operation. So just give me a second and indulge me. And Jacob always enjoys that. So today we are here to talk about Marvel Studios' Black Widow, maybe the most delayed movie ever in the MCU. Finally came out in theaters and on streaming this last week. And so, Sean, you don't come here that often. What'd you think about it? Let's let you go first.
I mean, like Marvel movies never, like, you know, I'm all in for all Marvel movies, and I've been waiting for this as well. I dug it, man. Like they can, I mean, even the Marvel movies that disappoint me are not really like they're still fun. Like I never regret going to go watch them. Mm-hmm. Black Widow, I really enjoyed. It was surprising in that like half of the movie was the type of movie I wanted it to be, and the other half of the movie was something else that didn't go quite the way I would have liked. But I do like that they can still they're not predictable. You know, they still throw some curveballs at me. I would have liked it to be a little bit darker. In like its themes and the way it handles some stuff, but like for like those first like 10 minutes, I was sold. I bought in completely. The actors and the characters that they played were freaking awesome. I love it. Florence as like a new Black Widow in the new MCU is going to be freaking awesome. Her performances were amazing. Red Guardian was dope, and I kind of want him and the Winter Guard to kind of be show up again because that'd be dope. But overall, man, like it's a solid Marvel flick for me. I dug it. It had all the Marvel things that I like about it. ScarJo is awesome as always. Yeah, I'm actually going to try and see if I can fit in a second rewatch this weekend.
Oh. Cool. Yeah, I definitely agree with most of that. I had a few quibbles, but let's let Jacob go first. Jacob, what do you think?
For the most part, I enjoyed the movie. I much like what Sean's saying. I like the actors. I like a lot of the character portrayals. David Harbour as Red Guardian was delightful. That old hero who's just wanting to relive his glory days. Reminds me a lot of this one particular made-for-TV movie of Jason the Argonauts, where Hercules was just all about that. He was constantly talking about the 12 labors, and people were like, "Shut up about the 12 labors. We don't care. We know you're Hercules. You're amazing. Shut up." So I like that bit of it. Rachel Weisz, I have loved her since the Mummy movies of the 1990s. Those were wonderful.
Yeah.
And the only complaint I really had about her character is she's supposed to be based on a Black Widow villain known as the Iron Maiden. Mm-hmm. I would have loved to have seen her in the armor. As opposed to just another Black Widow suit. But that's a tiny little, comic book fan quibble that I have. What I don't have a tiny comic book quibble about, and this is one of the things I really did not care for in the movie, was the portrayal of Taskmaster. Now, it's not that, and huge spoiler. This is a big spoiler for the end of the movie. It's not.
Hang on one second. So if you don't want to be spoiled on Black Widow, go somewhere else right now. Okay, go ahead, Jacob.
I don't care about the fact that they made Taskmaster a woman. I don't mind that. Fine, great. They've swapped genders on several characters already. You know, the Ancient One and there's several others. What I care about is the fact that they effectively Deadpooled her, and specifically the Deadpool as portrayed in that terrible Wolverine Origins movie, where you have this character that is supposed to be this amazing boisterous attitude, and made them completely silent and just a death killing machine. And Taskmaster, yes, is a death killing machine, but Taskmaster is also that kind of very interesting personality character. To give you an example of what Taskmaster should have been like, if you're familiar with Sportsmaster from the Young Justice series, where he's that cocky professional, I've been doing this for years, do you really want to fight me? Do you really know what you're getting
basically
into?
basically the same as Sportsmaster from the Stargirl series. He's the same type of dude.
Yeah, he's
same thing.
Yeah, he's overconfident. He's very confident in his abilities. He wants you to know what you're getting into before you get into it. All right, you've had your chance, and before getting into things, that is the complaint I had with Taskmaster. Don't be making silent mind controlled assassins out of everyone. You know, Taskmaster needed his boisterous personality, and considering all the villains were, you know, other than Ray Winston himself, who was just a creepy old man, they were very, very silent killers in this.
So for me, that was kind of my problem. Is like, I'm sorry, but Ray Winston was so not memorable at all as like a villain in this movie. Like to me, he was a very, very poor choice for a villain. Like I was just like, this guy, seriously, like there's nothing memorable. He's just such a generic villain kind of thing. You know, like he was not memorable at all. You know, he could have been from any movie, not like a memorable Marvel villain, you know. But I agree, man. Like even I think with like it was Olga Koyenko or something that's Taskmaster, right? Like it would have been cool. I don't mind Taskmaster being a girl, but it would have been cool if she had the attitude that Taskmaster had in the comics when she was portraying him. Like it would have been rad seeing like the banter between like her and Black Widow when they're fighting each other, like her being like, you know, I've done this a long time. I know how to fight like all your friends, and you could have had that banter between the two of them, which would have been way more entertaining than the really weird monologue between the Ray Winston and Scarlett Johansson. Like that whole scene, I felt went on a bit long for me, and like it needed a bit of editing, and it was just like, okay, I'm over it. Can you just move this story along? I think that was the weakest part for me. But with Red Guardian, like I really wanted him to have like a big heroic moment, and it never happened. Because like I felt like he deserved it, because he was always talking about how like, you know, he did this, and it would have just been cool to have like a heroic moment. But his fight was also kind of it was cool. But his performance was awesome. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really liked the moment where Black Widow, you know, it was kind of like she was trying to get him to sever her, what would you call, the smell nerve, for lack of a better term. And finally she was like, yeah, you were too weak. So she bashes her head against the desk to do it herself, to undo the pheromone lock, which was kind of a dumb idea, but it sort of worked in the context of the confrontation. But I kind of want to see a time lost. Steve Rogers goes back in time, marries Peggy, and he and her are having adventures during the Cold War, and he winds up, you know, having to fight Red Guardian at some point. I doubt Marvel will ever indulge me in that, but I would love to see that because he was a lot of fun.
You see, I'm the opposite. I would have liked to have seen like a somehow Red Guardian shows up in like the MCU later on and whatever, and goes back in time and meets Cap before Steve kind of retires, just to see like how he reacts and how he's like, oh, like bolsters, and then he meets him, and he's all kind of like shy, and you're like, oh, Cap, kind of thing. It's like an honor to meet you type thing, like that. For me, that'd be cooler than like the like typical like fighting side by side, just him meeting him and like gushing over him a little bit.
It would be kind of cool if he was starstruck when he met him. And hey, Dale, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. I think you make a good point. This movie did sort of remind me of the Winter Soldier in a lot of ways. Kind of the way they handle Taskmaster, sort of that silent robotic assassin vibe.
Again,
yeah. I was kind of hoping to. What's Taskmaster? You want some quips? You want some banter, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, also like there's nothing to say. I mean, like look at what they did with the Mandarin. I mean, this isn't this to say that this is the only Taskmaster. I think that'd be kind of cool because you can't get your cake and eat it too. You have like your killing machine, and then you have another Taskmaster that's like, I was the original one and I got away and I went and became a mercenary by myself and started doing all these things.
You make a good point because in Marvel, I mean, nothing's ever lost. So someone else could get that same tech and use it later to, do that.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, like they pull some fast ones on everybody, man. Like it's. I'm into like I have faith in everything. I mean, like I did the post-credit scene in Black Widow. I totally called it before I watched the movie. I was like, I thought, this would be dope if this happens. And then the post-credit scene came up, and I was just like, I knew it. But that's the thing is, like, I saw it coming, but they did it in a way that I didn't see coming with Madam Hydra.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, the minute I saw Madam Hydra there, I was just like, I figured two things are going to happen. They are either lining up a Thunderbolts or a Dark Avengers movie with US agents and Florence's Black Widow. And then I think with all the other characters, they're lining up a new Avengers with Kate Bishop, Miss Marvel, all that stuff. And it would be very cool if that led to a Dark Avengers versus New Avengers movie.
That's not Madam Hydra. That's Contessa Valentina.
Isn't she?
She is effectively the anti-Nick Fury.
Contessa. Okay. I always thought that Contessa was a Madam Hydra.
She became Madam Hydra very, very briefly, but she is effectively her own
thing.
Super spy character.
But it would be cool if she plays like during what is it? During Dark Reign. Like it would be cool if she's basically the equivalent of Norman Osborn putting her team together to do stuff. And then you have the other guys. That'd be dope.
Did you guys hear about the deleted scene from the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier?
Deleted scene?
No.
Okay.
No, I mean, I saw the post-credit scene, but I didn't hear about the deleted one.
It was scripted but not filmed because of COVID. You know how they're kind of mashing up Spider-Man into the multiverse, and they're going to bring back Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. All right, so when Sharon Carter is walking out of the Senate, she's just been, confirmed or whatever as part of S.H.I.E.L.D., she's talking to someone on her cell phone. They were going to cut, and she's talking to Norman Osborn on the other end, but not any Norman Osborn, Willem Dafoe. But between COVID and Willem Dafoe being, crazy famous, and maybe he was doing, promotion for the Lighthouse at the time, they just couldn't get him. So, yeah, I don't know if they'll carry that through into the Spider-Man movies, but that's an interesting idea. My headcanon is that Julia Louis-Dreyfus character is just Elaine from Seinfeld, and this is what she's doing when she's not hanging out in the diner with Jerry. But that's just me. So.
Contessa Valentina is a much more interesting character than any of the characters in Seinfeld.
Oh, okay. Even Putty?
Not a Seinfeld.
Okay.
There's some. Speaking of utilizing technologies for other things, some friends and I were postulating on the fact that they've already introduced the fact through Falcon and Winter Soldier that there have been other Captain Americas. There have been other American super soldiers. So all those stories that Alexei was talking about fighting Captain America could be true. He could have fought a Captain America.
Easily. I kind of wanted, so when I love this movie. I had an idea, like, what would have been great is if you had, when I was first, like, just imagining a Black Widow movie, I always imagined sort of like, like Batman during the Tower of Babel storyline, but you have like Black Widow fighting like the Winter Guard, right? And you basically see like the Russian version of the Avengers. So you have like Ursa Major, Crimson Dynamo, and all those guys, and they get sent after her instead. And you basically find out that like Natasha has these ideas on how to take out the rest of the Avengers if she needs to, and she uses it on this team instead. Like, I thought that would have been a cool idea. But like, hey, use that idea for like the sequel. I'm cool for that. You know what I mean? Although in this case, it'll probably be like Yelena that does it.
That would be pretty cool. In Secret Avengers, 15 years ago, Warren Ellis had a pretty fun time travel story with Black Widow. She was on a mission with the Avengers, and they all got wiped out. And War Machine tosses her. He's like, this is, he's got some kind of name for it. It's the last contingency. And basically it's a time travel device where you're supposed to go back and figure out how you got beat. And through the whole story, she goes back like 40, 50 years and, finds out who beat them and why they did. And, they had some special weapon and, just kind of travels through the dark corners of the Marvel Universe, uncovering the plot that, defeated them. And then at the very last 2 pages, returns back to the fight and saves the day. And, I would love to see them do something like that. Because kind of want to see more Scarlett Johansson in the Marvel Universe, but I got to figure, she's probably done at this point, just between kind of aging out of action roles, and there's a new Black Widow. So I don't know. I'd love if that ever happens.
I mean, she's had like a long run and is like
over 10 years.
Role. Yeah. But I mean, like, and like, after seeing Florence's performance in Black Widow, like the mantle is definitely in good hands. She's like a very different character, and also just like a very she's such a charming character. Like she's sarcastic. She's not all about the flash. She's just like as efficient as possible. And I think that her personality will play off of the other characters when they eventually form like an Avengers team so well.
I really liked when she was taking Scarlett's character to task for all the posing.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean that just shows how different they are. She's not like, she's more blunt, and Natasha's like more like elegant, like that kind of thing. I think that was dope, man. Like I sort of picture in my head like a Dark Avengers versus New Avengers, and Yelena is the one that like switches sides halfway through to help take out the bad guys and stuff. So yeah, that's just obviously me writing my own head canon while I'm watching these movies. But I mean, a lot of people are like, when I watch these flicks, I try not to go in with any expectations. I sort of like, I want Marvel to take me on their ride and tell me their stories. So that's usually why I like when people come in here, like friends come in, they're like, oh, but what about this? What about this? And I'm like, don't think about it too much, because like, like I hate those people that are like, I've come up with this idea, and if it doesn't conform to any of my ideas, then it's crap. I'm like, I can't. It's not your stories. You're along for the ride. Get off if you're not enjoying it. But they can't do me wrong, man. Like so far, I mean, I just finished the Loki this week as well. Also, I'm so into Sylvie so much. I was like, if she replaces Loki as like the new Loki for the next phase of the Marvel movies, but like if they bring her in and she calls herself the Enchantress because she doesn't want to like tell people off that she's a Loki, I'm like, how cool would that be? Like, that'd be awesome. She's also very charming. Like all these actors that they're pulling out for this next phase, like, they're right up there with like the charm and charisma to carry these roles and just make you fall for them.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. Although I haven't seen the Loki finale yet, but we've got a Loki discussion show on Friday, so I probably gotta hurry up. But so Jacob, you're making a face. What's up?
I have seen Loki.
Oh, what'd you think?
No comment.
No comment.
I don't want to spoil your viewing.
It's already been spoiled.
I really recommend you watch it.
I'm on the internet. It's already spoiled. It's yeah. I know there's
All right.
Kang, and I guess
No, there is not.
There's not Kang the Conqueror.
Nope.
What?
Why are you fucking with me?
Yeah, you have to watch it to understand it. To be honest.
You've seen it?
No, I think Sean has. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it, so I know. That's why I'm like, there is Kang, but there isn't.
No, it's not.
You really have to watch it.
That's not Kang.
All right. Okay. Well, the Twitter told me it was Kang, so if Twitter was lying to me,
they're wrong.
Twitter's never wrong. Twitter can't be wrong. It's a hive mind of the 1,000 most angry people on the internet at any given time.
Dude, that's basically why I don't post that much online anymore. Like I can't do.
But I'm not going to talk about it because this isn't the Loki show.
The Loki show. It's kind of interesting how one cinematic universe can encompass both the crazy, magical absurdism of Loki and this kind of jokey Jason Bourne stuff.
That's why I love comic book universes. You can have all the highs, lows, and everything in between.
Yeah, I mean, you got like magic and all sorts of like I think like with Loki and the upcoming Multiverse of Madness and the Spider-Man movie coming out, like there are just hundreds of different ways that they could take these stories in the long run, and they're just like opening the box and being like, we're giving ourselves all these options to be completely unpredictable and do whatever the hell we want, and that's kind of awesome.
Speaking of all the highs, lows, and everything in between, Sean, your issue 2 of Fantastic Four Life Story. Oh, mwah.
Oh,
So
thanks,
beautiful.
man.
Yeah, I've been reading it this week. I've really been enjoying it.
Thanks, man. Like, I just, I finished issue 3 a couple of weeks ago. I'm on page 8, I think, of issue 4 right now. It's quite hectic, man. Like, there's a lot of interesting things happening. Like, they tackle a lot of big issues. I got to draw a sexy Namor. That was cool.
Namor is looking really cool.
The only problem is, like in that panel over there, I've worked my butt off, pun intended, to draw a really sweet butt on Namor, and there's a speech bubble covering his ass. I'm like, no. I'm like, sorry, no one will see what's underneath there. All the hard work to make sure he had a chiseled butt. No one gets to see it.
Man, Namor doesn't skip leg day at all, and gets covered up by a speech bubble. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, no. But it's cool, man. Like, I think we're doing a really, really awesome story here, and it's very heartfelt. And the thing is, like, I've got the scripts up until issue 5, but I don't know how it ends. Like, I haven't been sent issue 6 yet, so like, I read issue 5 the other day, which is totally the issue I thought it would have ended on, but there's still an issue to go, like another 30 pages of story, and I haven't seen it, so I don't even know how it ends.
Yeah. No, but I've been recently redoing the timeline of Superpowered Legends, and I want to incorporate so much of this into my timeline. It's just gorgeous storytelling, gorgeous art. Oh wow!
Thanks, man.
I'm happy to see it. I'm looking forward to more.
Thanks, man. I was drawing Doom was a real treat for me. I won't lie. Like, I slaved over trying to figure out how to draw him and then how to draw his armor for like quite a while to like make it my own, but still make it iconic. So yeah, it was good. It was good times. But I'm very curious to see how people take issue 3. We'll see how it goes.
So yeah, we'll definitely have a link in the show notes. People can check it out. It's the Marvel book I'm enjoying the most right now, so highly recommend it.
Oh, thanks.
And no, you've done good work, Sean. So I think we're about at the end of our time. Any closing thoughts, Jacob, Sean?
Black Widow was entertaining. Certainly not the best Marvel movie, but entertaining enough to be worth your 2 hours.
Yeah, my thoughts are go and watch it, man. Like, these characters are awesome, and it just continues this ongoing story and introduces some brand new characters that like you will fall in love with.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And it
I'm honestly,
has great action, great stories, well shot. Yeah, I love it, man.
yeah, I'm expecting to see Elena in one of the upcoming series based on the ending.
Dude, can't wait. Cannot wait.
Yeah, interesting to see her and a U.S. agent on a team together. I don't know who else they were going to be bringing into that team, but I suspect those will be the two big ones. So
I expect we'll see more of that team built up over the movies and series to come.
well, yeah, we've got Spider-Man No Way Home end of the year,
Mhm.
and then
Shang-Chi, man. Shang-Chi is one of my
Shang-Chi.
most anticipated.
We got Shang-Chi. We got
so excited
a
for
lot
that
of
movie, man.
we got a lot of movies. We've got a lot of series all coming up. So
yeah, Marvel What If coming out in 2 months, I think, maybe a month. So that should be fun.
About a month. About
Yeah.
a month. I'm very excited. Very excited for that.
Disney Plus knows how to keep me hooked. I haven't canceled my subscription since the first season of Mandalorian. So yeah, like, hey, you could cancel, but in 4 weeks, do you want to miss this new thing? So yeah.
Yeah, I mean they're owning the streaming TV service right now, man.
Yeah, I don't go to Netflix hardly at all anymore. It's only when they have like a Gunpowder Milkshake. I'll be watching that this weekend.
yeah, I know, right?
Yeah,
I can't recall the last time I was watching Netflix because usually that was my go-to.
I saw a trailer today. I saw someone post online about it. I can't remember who. Posted a movie poster, and I was like, I'm gonna check this out. So I went and I saw the trailer, I'm like, I have to freaking watch this movie this weekend. It's called Werewolves Within. It looks amazing.
That looks like the werewolf game made into a movie.
Made into a movie, exactly. But
I'm not sure if you're familiar with the werewolf game.
No, yeah, I have. I've played it before and stuff.
Oh, yeah, we saw that trailer last year. That's on Netflix. Okay, I'll have to check that out. Oh, hey, Jason Sunday plays with us in our game on Monday. Jason, I really like the movie, but I heard someone described it as basically the same movie as The Winter Soldier. I think that is somewhat accurate. Yeah, I think that was intentional. I think that's why they went with Taskmaster being basically a Winter Soldier-esque character. So, yeah, I might have done it differently, but I'm a guy who works in his office doing computer stuff, and I'm not in Hollywood, making movies.
Also, it's really interesting. You've seen a lot of people post that it was similar to Winter Soldier, but they all still really liked it. I mean, it just goes to show you, like, the execution really matters as well. Like, you can say have the same story ish. I mean, look at if you look at Iron Man and you look at Doctor Strange and Ant-Man, they also all have very similar stories. It's like, oh, this mentor friend, family member turns bad, has the same technology or magic or abilities as I have, and now we have to stop them. But they're all really entertaining movies and all really cool.
Well, I mean, the Marvel formula has been so successful because it's good and it's resilient and it can fit a lot of different models. You can do espionage, you can do a heist movie, you can do lots of different genres with it. So, yeah, it's I really enjoyed it. I'll probably watch it again. The good Netflix movies. If you haven't seen, it was like the funniest thing I've seen this year so far was a cartoon called Mitchells versus the Machines.
Dude,
yeah.
Me and my 10-year-old nephew sat and watched it, and I have never laughed till I've cried in a freaking long time because that movie was so amazing. Because it's like there's enough stuff in there for kids to enjoy, but then there's also all like the adult humor that's like just like so subtle and it just hits you, and you're like, I totally get that. Loved it. I was crying. I was laughing so hard because of that movie.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It works for audiences of lots of different ages. So if you get a chance on Netflix, Jacob, I think you would dig it.
Cool.
So Jason Sunday, he also liked that one. Sweet. See, if Jason Sunday likes it, you gotta check it out. So
way to go, Jay. Also, I really enjoyed Deadly Class. I finally got around to watching it.
You enjoyed what?
Well. The Deadly Class.
Oh, based on a comic book. Yeah.
Walt has been a big fan of that. Really enjoyed that. It's like
where
very cool.
Where is that these days? I thought it was on Sci-Fi, but I don't have KD. Is it on Netflix or Amazon? Where do you see that?
I saw it on Netflix on my side.
Okay. I'll have to see if I can find it. Yeah, I read the first arc of that comic because it was described to me as a supervillain, basically a supervillain academy. And I don't know if that's an accurate description.
No, it's more like let's teach kids how to be assassins.
That's more accurate.
Assassin school.
That's probably it. It's like Hogwarts,
I really
but you're
enjoyed
killing
it.
people.
Yeah, Hogwarts basically. But like, what was really cool about this series is the finale didn't. There's a lot of shows where like they're really good, but then they don't stick the landing at the end. This one, like the action and all the stuff that they did at the end, I felt was really, really good. Like it was high stakes, very intense, very brutal, which is cool. So I do recommend watching that.
Sweet. All right, guys. Well, I am contractually obligated to play our musical outro, so just 1 second. It gets better every time, I swear. So, all right, Sean, always pleasure having you on. Jacob, always pleasure having you on, sir.
Yeah,
And
thanks,
to all
guys.
our listeners and viewers, we will catch you next time on the Math Podcast.